What's poppin', niggas? It's your boy, 007, Supreme Yapper, Young Mark Yeezy. We back at it with another reaction. If you don't know who this beautiful face is, this is Tim Treadwell. Now I'm gonna go over some quick stuff for y'all who's squeaming. This is a guy that basically thought he was the Bear Whisperer. Spoiler warning, he was not. He thought he was the Steve Irwin of bears. And I was watching a little bit of this, thought it would be a good reaction. You can't watch the full thing because, you know how I get to it. And I can't post videos longer than 30 minutes. Because then I gotta pay for this fuck ass subscription and I'm not trying to do all that. So I got the timer right here. I'm gonna get to it. And basically this dude is just gonna break down the mentality of this guy who thought he could control bears. As crazy as that sounds.
No one
My shit
ever friggin' knew.
What the fuck? Hold on, y'all. Technical difficulties.
That there are times when my life is on the precipice of death, and that these bears can bite, they can kill. If I am weak, I go down.
Nobody knew a bear
I
could
love
bite and
them with
kill
all my
you.
heart. I will protect them. I will die for them, but I will not die at their claws and paws. I will fight. I will be strong. I'll be one of them. I will be the master. Love you, Rowdy. Give it to me, baby. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
So one thing we can see with Tim
Got the
Treadwell
shades like he
is that
raised
he
her
seems to be
mom.
getting a significant amount of ego validation from the fact that he feels he must be more powerful than the bears to be able to survive amongst them when he is occasionally threatened by them. It must mean that he is in some way their master. And what does that mean? Well, that means he's more powerful than one of the most powerful animals in the world.
Go ahead back. Go back. This is a subadult, and this is what happens to them. They work together, and they get really powerful. As you can see, I'm just feet away. You just relax.
Gonna
You just
harass
relax.
this bear.
I've now proven myself as being able to hold my ground.
This nigga's just going around harassing bears. I want you to just analyze that sentence.
And therefore earning their respect. This is Rowdy the bear, and
Just naming them.
he's rowdy. He's getting bigger. But that was a challenge, and you have to remain cool in the challenge, in the moment. If you don't, you're dead. They can kill. They can bite. They can
Nobody knew that.
decapitate.
That's crazy.
What I'm suggesting is that Tim Treadwell has this need to be special. And where does that need come from?
Smacking on a tuna sandwich.
It might come from the fact that he doesn't actually feel special. His core feeling is that he is worthless in some way, or that there is some hole in him that needs to be filled. So he needs to believe that he is special and that he has worth. What that need leads to is a belief that he is special. Because if he holds that belief, if the more he believes that he is special, the more he can deny that feeling he has that he is not actually special, right? So he's chasing filling this hole with the feeling of being special,
By
and he
harassing
convinces
bears.
himself cognitively that he is in fact special, because the need leads to that belief that I think reaches the point of delusion in his life.
I gotta think he was over 10 feet high, don't you? Ooh, he's a big bear. He's a big bear. A very big bear. Wow.
The first thing I notice about Timothy Treadwell is that his demeanor is quite childlike.
Anyway, he's over here rub-a-dub-dubbing. He's a big bear.
And so that childlike affect, it's a definite contrast to the way Timothy Treadwell wants to present himself. You know, he wants to have this He wants to see himself and present himself as a kind of rugged Jack London kind of character that's out there, Bear Grylls kind of guy.
There's going to be a number of takes I'm going to do. These are called Wild Timmy Jungle scenes. We're going to
Hold on, I gotta run and find some shit real quick. Wait, be patient, nigga, be patient. I hope the two people that watch my videos have some patience. The 1.5 people. If you are a full person who watches the full video shit, might as well like it. Appreciate you. Look at this dude. This is the bear hunter right here. This is the absolute. He claims to be the absolute nature warrior, the gentle warrior of bears. Crazy.
do several takes of each, where I'll do it with a bandana on, maybe a bandana off, maybe two different colored bandanas, some without a bandana, some with the camera being held. Kind of stumbled on that one. Let's do it again.
But in fact, what he looks more like is a kind of Peter Pan out in the wilderness, with these kinds of silly facial expressions and turns of phrase. And it makes me think about
what he really
Arrested
missing
Development
is an Australian accent.
him. So, stages of psychosocial development
is what makes him legit.
are something that are essentially analogous to stages we see in all of biology, right? Developmental stages happen.
Thing is, this tuna sandwich smacking right now. Thing is, had any type of accent, Russian, Australian, people would doubt his. They would less. I don't even know how to say it because he has no accent, and he just sounds like a normal suburban white guy. Niggas like, oh, he's gonna die out there. But let this dude sound Russian or any type of foreign, would it be out in nature in the wilderness? They're gonna be like, oh shit, he may handle himself. Like, oh, he got it. Having any type of accent automatically ups your credentials in the eyes of the internet. Internet logic.
For all organisms throughout their lives. And so in psychiatry and psychoanalysis, there's this analogous idea of psychological stages. Now, Freud had very interesting ones, I think, with the oral and anal and all that kind of stuff, but that's sort of lacking in the kind of pragmatic realism that Erik Erikson's stages have. So I really like the Eriksonian stages. Each of them is defined by the typical chronological age associated with the stage and with the fundamental question that needs to be resolved. And the idea is that it requires the resolution of each one of these conflicts to be able to move on to the next stage. So you can see in infancy through 1.5 years, the question is, can I trust the world? Or, is the world okay? Is it a safe place? If that resolves, you can move on to the early childhood question of, is it okay to be me? Am I okay? And each of these is associated with a kind of conflict that needs to be resolved. If it's okay to be me, I can be autonomous as a being. If it's not okay, I have shame and doubt. So the next one is it okay for me to sort of move? Is it okay for me to take actions? And that's initiative versus guilt. And then with school-age children, starting kindergarten and really first grade and onwards, the question is, can I make it out in the world of people and things? And that's the industry versus inferiority. Like, I'm either able to be industrious or I'm inferior. And then there's adolescence, where you have identity versus role confusion. And that's the question of who am I and what can I ultimately be? And so it's in this sort of pre-adulthood series of stages that I want to focus with Tim Treadwell, because we see him struggling with multiple of these conflicts. Inferiority, I would say, is a big one. It's what's driving that need to believe that he is actually superior.
By fighting
If he
bears.
has this unresolved sense of inferiority, he needs to overcome that.
If you feel inferior, bro, because I dealt with that. One, not touching. You gotta quit with the pornography. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube. Definitely helps with a confidence booster, boost the dopamine and whatnot. But just finding your niche in life, bro. I know that may be difficult. You gotta work. And I know it's so hard to view yourself as enough, because sometimes I don't even view myself as enough. I always think I gotta do more, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Finding that inner peace is so damn difficult. And I struggle with people. I struggle to interact with people. And whenever I talk to somebody and they just give me a stink face, I'm like, damn, I hate you. And I turn that inward and say, damn, I hate myself. Just know that you're not alone, bro. It may feel like it. It may feel like everybody else got it all figured out. Got every issue in the world. That they not struggling. They got 1,000 friends. They got all these new clothes, all this shit. They got money coming in. They look fresh every time you see them. They got a smile on their face. It's all a front. I know that doesn't help at all. Because you're still going through what you're going through. But shit, I'll just keep it pushing, bro. It may not seem like there's a light at the end of the tunnel, man, but you just gotta find the moment, bro.
Again, by insisting on the belief that he is superior, and by pursuing things which give him a sense of non-inferiority, of being special.
Government's given me all they have so far.
The
I
government
stood up to
cheese.
it.
Bro been on a steady diet of government cheese. That's why he's acting like this. All them chemicals done got to his fucking brain.
I've had danger in the boat, almost died, I've almost fallen off a cliff. Yeah. The danger factor's about to amp up in the maze. The maze is always the most dangerous.
Now, with Erikson, the idea was if you didn't resolve one of these conflicts, it's going to continue to present issues for you for the rest of your life until you resolve it. But this sort of goes hand in hand with the idea of arrested development and the idea of regression. So the idea of developmental arrest is if you don't resolve the goal of that developmental stage, you actually cannot psychologically move on, and so you will act as though you are a school-age child in some cases. Or you will be a perpetual adolescent if you can't figure out who you are and what your role in the world is. And it's not as simple as a mere stagnation and just being arrested. There is a lot more dynamism allowed for here, with the idea that regression can happen in the face of stress, so that you sort of go backwards in time. And, you know, regression is something we see certainly in behaviors, like school-age children themselves will sometimes regress to pre-potty training if they have a major stress. They'll have a period of incontinence where they're wetting the bed despite having not wet the bed for years and years, because there's some new stress that essentially makes them retract back into a simpler state, because it's as if it's not safe to be that age anymore. There's something bad about this age, so let me go back to the last time it was safe. So I think it's not a stretch to say if it happens with things like bedwetting, it probably happens with things like speech, mannerisms, and internally with the way you see the world. So you'll regress to seeing the world the way a child might see the world. Perhaps, let's say, believing that animals are teddy bears, right?
Don't just believe everything bro's saying. Do your own research, definitely. What he's saying is interesting, but definitely do your own research. Don't just believe what the AI tells you. Nigga, do research. Go through websites, nigga. Read books. That's how you gain knowledge. Like, it's cool what he's saying. Very interesting. Also sounds like he's going out on a limb. And he even said at the beginning of the video, it's just my opinion. It's my observations. Make your own. Like, yeah, you could take other people's opinions, you know, factor that shit in, but build your own base. Definitely.
Or acting the way that Tim Treadwell acts.
Because all that,
He's a big bear. He's a big...
telling you, bro, all that fleeting internet information is gonna leave you when you need it the most, bro. Unless you got the video on standby, you're not gonna remember that clip of how to invest in houses and shit like that. Promise you. And if you do, nigga, you got a brain.
Bear, a very big bear. Wow. Anyway, he's over here rub-a-dub-dubbing. It's a big bear.
At times like this, when he's saying, he was up there rub-a-dub-dubbing, it's very childlike. So his behaviors are very childlike, but I think the way he sees the world is very childlike as well. So I'm immediately thinking there's some reason that he felt inferior from a young age, and that's leading to the insistence that he is not inferior to a pathological degree, as well as often presenting as though he is still a child.
I would be within the physical presence of bears 24 hours a day for months at a time.
This is crazy. This is nuts. These are the most dangerous animals on the face of the earth. And
Wow.
you want to go and put yourself in harm's way 24 hours on the face of the earth. And
Wow.
you want to go and...
You see that smile? It's like, that's a confidence booster for him. Hearing that he's just chilling with the most dangerous animals, it's like, yeah. That's a confidence. He likes that. He likes hearing that. It makes him feel good. Gives him a sense of pride. Boosts his ego a little bit.
put yourself in harm's way 24 hours a day?
I think they've been misunderstood.
How can I believe that if...
First of all, Dateline's Keith Morrison. I'll never not smile when I hear his voice. There's something about Keith Morrison's just folksy gruffness. But so we see another thing that living amongst the bears does for Timothy Treadwell. Not only does he have the immediate experience whenever he's able to sort of turn away a bear, and avoid harm, that is an immediate feeling of power. So he has that. Two, he's going to develop
Timothy is that head running around the hood, bro. He's not scary. Niggas just see him and be like, oh shit, here comes him. He starts screaming at him like, all right, Tim, back up, Tim, back up. The right nigga just ain't swing on him yet.
this belief that he's actually the only one trying to save the bears, so he has a kind of purpose and cause.
Yeah.
And three, he's getting social validation and celebrity from this lifestyle. So what he's finding is that this pursuit is doing so much for that ego need. But again, this idea that he is now a national celebrity from his summers with the bears kind of contradicts the image of the rough and tumble outdoorsman. And so I just get the sense that there's still kind of a role confusion, even when he's in the periods where he's moving past the sense of inferiority because it's getting solved by all of these acclaims. He still doesn't quite know who he is. Is he an activist? Is he an outdoorsman?
I'm gonna end this video soon enough. I can't get past 30 minutes. Otherwise, I can't upload this shit. So I had 3 different version videos, bro. I recorded that bitch for like an hour.
Is he tough? Is he a sweetheart? He seems to be all of these things without knowing exactly who he is.
You are about to be killed by a bear, that you wouldn't say, oh, I made a mistake. I'd like to have a gun.
I would never, ever kill a bear in the defense of my own life. I would not go into a bear's home and kill a bear.
Because bears have
In his
houses.
final year, the 13th of his...
See that? 10 years before his death. So anybody who think they understand animals and to school for this shit, don't be a Timothy. Don't be a Tim. Don't be a Treadwell. Gonna see what happens.
Alaskan expeditions, Tim Treadwell continued in what had become his established practice of first camping in the more open areas of the wildlife reserve and then moving into the thicker brush, which is what he called the grizzly maze, to watch the salmon run of the fall. This year in particular, he had decided to delay his exit by a few weeks, and it's been suggested that this added risk to his already risky behavior, as that is the time of year that bears might become most desperate to put on fat before the winter. In Tim Treadwell's footage from his final expedition, there are 2 bears.
Yeah, exactly, bro. He thought it was He-Man not knowing shit about the animals. He did a little research. Oh, I understand the bears around them bitches. I can't even make an analogy because I can't think of some shit that's that dumb. Not be a Treadwell. I will smack the fuck out you if you do, bro. No, what I will do is I'm gonna do a reaction to your death documentary like I'm doing with this dude. And instead of just respecting you, I'm gonna fucking laugh at you, bro, because you're dumb as a brick.
Bears in particular, either of which some people have speculated might be the bear that killed and ate him. Whether or not that's actually the case, I think it is reasonable to suggest these are the types of bears most prone to attack a human, and in fact, Tim Treadwell himself suggests this.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creator.
I'm here on camera with Ole, the big old bear, and the big old grumpy bear. He just took Cracker out of the creek area. There's not a lot of fish here, so you could understand him wanting to have control of the creek. I met him on the pathway the other day after feeling sorry for him, thinking that he was a bit thin, a bit gaunt, and he promptly charged me with the intent to probably strike. I know the language of the bear. I was able to deter him from doing that, and I'm fine.
I'm calling cap on that one. That nigga ran for his life.
But I will tell you something. It is the old bear, one who is struggling for survival, and an aggressive one at that, who's the one that you must be very careful of. For these are the bears that on occasion do, for survival, kill and eat humans. Could Ole the big old bear possibly kill and eat Timothy Treadwell? What do you think, Ole? I think if you were weak around him, you're going down as
Bro, even if you were strong around him, you're not bear strong. I don't think that's sinking in, bro. Like, yeah, you can act strong, but when it comes to moving weight, you gotta move it. Only mass moves mass, and that bear has some mass on him. A big ass bear.
gullet going down the pipe.
We hear Tim Treadwell's notion that he's just sort of friends with the bears. The story he tells of meeting this bear is the kind of story you'd tell about how you met someone at school or something, you know, that you just met him while you were walking along the hallway.
Buddy.
Kind of felt sorry for him because he seemed out of place.
I met him on the pathway the other day after feeling sorry for him, and he promptly charged me with the intent to probably strike. I know the language of the bear.
And then you also have the part where he wants to feel like he's more powerful than the bears. So, you know, I was able to deter him, and if I were any weaker, he would probably eat me.
I was able to deter him from doing that, and I'm fine. But I will tell you...
So this is definitely an illustration of Timothy Treadwell's kind of increasingly unrealistic view of what the bears are. I think when he first started going out there, it was more so a fascination from a distance. These are majestic beasts. But what he started to do was escalate from that emotional distance.
Bro, just harassing these animals. I hope the reserve didn't get no flack from this. I hope no bears got hurt from this. So getting shot. Rip Harambe. I'm being dead ass. Like this one lady who jumped into the polar bear exhibit. I think they damn near had to shoot the polar bears, if not they did. Like, bro. You have to be another level of stupid. I'm not talking mental conditions, because even people with mental conditions know damn well, or at least there's no way they can get in that situation unless they live in the wilderness. Even still, I'm pretty sure they got some sort of instinctual knowledge that I should not fuck with this animal, otherwise I'm going to possibly get eaten. Timmy boy, Timmy. Gonna have to end this bitch real soon, man.
Into an increasing degree of emotional involvement, which for the most part, I think was a drama in his own head. That he was friends with the bears and that he knew the language of the bears. Now, likely he did pick up certain types of survival behaviors in terms of like how to know when one was about to charge, but he combines that with this kind of personality-based view of the bears, that this one's grumpy, for example. So in the same way that you might escalate with an addiction, Timothy Treadwell seemed to escalate in terms of his involvement with the bears. To get the thrill, he would need increasingly close encounters with them.
I want to introduce you to one of the key role players in this year's expedition. The bear's name is the Grinch. Grinch has come on to be one of the more frequent bears here in the Grizzly Maze. The Grinch is a female of about 5
Grinch is the one who sacked his ass like Brian Urlacher.
years of age. Oh, hi, Grinch. Hi. And she has kind of an aggressive attitude. Hi.
I'm not even gonna. Grinch is the one who sacked his ass like Brian Urlacher, bro. I don't even know much.
If I turn around too much, she'll bite me. It's okay. Hi, how are you?
Why are you so friendly?
How are you?
Sick.
Don't you do that. Don't you do that. Back off. Don't do it. It's okay. I love you. I love you.
This is where you can really see the crazy. Bro thought he hurt the bear's feelings. I'm gonna let that sink in. He made the bear sad. You hurt my feelings. That's what he thought the bear said. He's hearing voices now. He thinks they're speaking to him in a bear tongue.
I love you. I love you. I love you. I'm sorry.
So there's almost this fantasy of a push-pull relationship he has in some of these cases. He definitely likes the feeling of sort of winning in a confrontation over a bear, but then he also has this kind of fantasy that they love him, right? It's not enough that they fear him. He wants them to both fear and love him. So the push-pull is, get away, don't do that, and then I love you, I love you, I love you. I think this drama is entirely in his head, because we can't really presume to know what the bear's decision-making process is at all in those cases. But, you know, from what I've heard listening to Wes on Tooth and Claw, it's probably something along the lines of, this isn't worth it. Or just, you know, I don't have a reason to attack. The overinterpretation in Tim Treadwell's mind is the bear is realizing that Tim is stronger and is a beloved leader, and so the bear's not going to attack. I think that's an overinterpretation. It may also be an overinterpretation that we hear from this particularly cynical guy in the movie Grizzly Man, who says the reason the bears didn't attack him is because they probably thought there was something wrong with him.
I think the only reason that Treadwell lasted as long in the game as he did was that the bears probably thought there was something wrong with him. My opinion, I think Treadwell thought these bears were big, scary-looking, harmless creatures that he could go up and pet and sing to, and they would bond as children of the universe or some odd.
And that is the perfect place to stop, right there. Look at that. Children of the universe. Two lovers at heart. I'm out this bitch. Stay easy.